All right, folks, I'd like you to meet Nolan. And Nolan keeps a very popular pop culture website in the Tampa Bay area called crazedfanboy.com. He's maintained this site, what now, Nolan, about 11 years?
Yes, about 11 years.
About 11 years. And I recommend that you go to his site and go to his archives. He has an extensive archive over the years on virtually any subject matter or topic from foreign films to
well, it's mostly pop culture.
Well, pop culture.
Pop culture, television, movies, and we do cover paranormal and some cryptozoology.
Right, and there's also a photograph of you and Nikki Necro, I believe. Nikki Necro of Clearwater that made the small budget film.
Krista Grotti. I didn't remember her
stage name. Yeah. Yes, okay. And there's all kinds of photographs. Anyway.
Necro Nancy is who you
Necro
met.
Nancy,
yeah,
okay.
There is no Nikki Necro.
Okay.
Necro.
Must be thinking of something else. You have, over the years, expressed to me a particular viewpoint on the Patterson film that I think is rather interesting. To the people that aren't familiar with that, Patterson film was shot in 1967, and it purports to show a possible giant North American Sasquatch. And I was just wondering, Nolan, considering that people on both sides of this issue, where do you fall on that?
Yes, this is the Pine Bluff footage shot on 16mm film. The last few feet of film that Roger Patterson had in his camera that day. They were riding on horseback, they being him, Bob Gimlin, and a handful of others. And as the film shows, and it's all over YouTube, anyone can look it up, the film shows that Patterson jumped off, fell off, or bolted from his horse when he saw the object moving in the distance, and he determined it was a Bigfoot, ran after it, and then decided the last few feet of film to just stay still and try to get as much of the good footage of the Bigfoot as he could. And this is where the famous still frame comes from, where the Sasquatch looks back at Patterson and we get a little bit of a shot of the face. It is my opinion that Patterson hoaxed that. Now, I want to go on record as saying I'm not taking a position that there is or is not a Bigfoot. I think it needs more research. I think there very well could be something out there. However, I don't believe the Patterson film is the proof positive that everyone believes it is, that Bigfoot is real and that it's on Patterson's film. Patterson was notorious for being a bit of a huckster back in his hometown, back out west in Northern California and in Washington. He had been trying to mount a Bigfoot documentary for many years and had previous attempts, and there are many witnesses who said that he had deep ties with a film company, a documentary film company, whose job it was to make documentaries along these lines about Bigfoot and paranormal things. And one of his partners was Bob Gimlin, who years after the Bigfoot film continued to make Bigfoot films, but none got the attention of the original Pine Bluff Patterson film. Well, I'm sorry, not Pine Bluff, Bluff Creek.
Bluff Creek, yeah.
Bluff Creek Patterson film.
Well, could I, not to interrupt you or anything, because I want you to maintain your chain of thought here, but I haven't been able to have this verified, but I've seen several references where this film was actually used as a lead-in to the popular four-walled movies of the early 70s, more like an attraction. At the end of this movie, we will show you the Bigfoot film. Did that really happen?
Not that I saw, but then that could be regional. That could be, because I'm from Florida. I don't remember it playing down here, but it could have played in other parts of the country.
Okay, well, go ahead with what you were saying.
So I believe that Patterson initially wanted to get a good Bigfoot film that he would stage as if someone was happening upon a Bigfoot to put in a documentary so he could get paid for it.
So this was a man that was looking for a big hit.
It was a hit and a bit of a profit motive. And he had a kind of a bad reputation for stiffing people on debts and running all kind of deals to further his goals of being some kind of rock star of the movies, or at least the documentaries. And he found a lot of interest in Bigfoot. How he didn't also diversify into UFOs at the same time, I don't know. For all I know, maybe he wanted to. In any event, I believe there's enough evidence that he put together a really good Bigfoot costume, from the neck down, basically an ape costume that he padded out for extra musculature, so it looks really good, and from the neck up, basically like a modified caveman mask that he put extra hair on. And there are some various sites and various films on YouTube and one or two really good sites that show the costume basically, or something very, very similar like it to it, being created to basically recreate Patterson's costume. He got a very tall actor that he knew from the film studio to be Bigfoot. And
apparently that was in a book that people said that they have debunked that book or not. I'm not sure. I do know that to this day, no one has been able to am I correct in saying that no one has been able to produce a suit if this was indeed a hoax?
Produce the original suit, because likely he got rid of that. He would want to get rid of the evidence. He burned it or buried it.
Well, that's
but
possible.
If he got it off out of a costume shop, he would have had to returned it. But like I said, he had a bad reputation for not returning things, so he could have just left.
In lieu of the modern technology that exists, such as YouTube, where you can find various overt hoaxes, some of them attempting to present it as real, and some of them are just goofs to begin with. But one thing they all have in common, from what I've seen, my opinion, is that these suits all look extremely fake. Nothing, you got to admit, if the Patterson film was a hoax, it was a damn good one.
Well, the most popular theory was that he got it from a man named the guy who was he helped on 2001, and he helped on Planet of the Apes. Not Patterson.
Well, I've often heard this TV show Lost in Space.
Well,
that there was an episode that showed everything but the head.
John Chambers is his name.
John Chambers
had a shop that had a lot of ape costumes. He was doing Planet of the Apes at the time, and I think he also he had ties with Lost in Space, and he had some really good ape gear. Now, the Patterson that I know went in, he probably promised him any kind, wrote him a check or whatever, and went out with a first-rate ape costume with very realistic hair, very realistic padding. Then he probably just stiff chambers on the feet. Now, a lot of people were never interviewed about this until decades later, and a lot of this came out.